Welcome to CareyBrosPros, the podcast for construction pros by construction pros. Now, here are James and Morris Carey.
So good to have you with us for another episode of CareyBrosPros. Hi, I'm James.
And I'm Morris. And as you know, the lack of young people choosing to pursue careers in construction fields is an ongoing concern for our industry. Many of us have been calling for more vocational training in our schools and more active mentorship within our job sites.
Well, the public school system in Henrico, Virginia is doing more than just talking about it. They're taking action with their C.T.E program. And we're pleased to have with us Mac Beaton. And Mac is the Director of Career and Technical Education, or C.T.E, for Henrico County Public Schools. Mac, welcome to CareyBrosPros.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here.
But, you know, from what we've heard about your CTE program, this is not your father's vocational training, right?
No, we've come a long ways from that.
Tell us about it.
Well, you know, it used to be people thought of vocational training as where you sent those kids that weren't going to be successful in life and probably would never really amount to a whole lot, not go to college, whatever. And that is so far from the truth. It was far from the truth back then, and it's even further from the truth
Boy,
now.
I am glad to hear you say that.
Hey, I got to tell you something. I took wood shop. I took metal shop. I took drafting. I took auto shop. I did body and fender work, engine work. I am an accomplished home designer today. I'm an accomplished carpenter and
electrician.
And those trades in school helped me to make a decision, lifelong decisions.
You know, I think
I didn't want to be a doctor. I didn't want to be a lawyer. You know,
Mac, I will tell you, you go to elementary school, then you go to middle school, then you go to high school, and then it's, okay, we're going to prepare you for college, and you're either going to go to a community college and finish up at a 4-year, or you're going to go directly off to college. And I think there's been entirely too much emphasis there. We've set a lot of children up for failure. I think we've robbed our vocational and technical careers of good manpower and woman power. And I'm glad to see that you're providing a resource where you can change the paradigm and where people who have an interest in pursuing trades and vocations have an opportunity that they otherwise would not have.
Yeah, and you know, the sad part about it is every high school, every school system in the country wants to say we're preparing our students to be, and the buzzword is college and career ready. But no one can really explain what that really means, and they hear the word college and they think that's my ticket. But, you know, in Henrico County, we've tried to push the envelope because you need to start by thinking what it is that you really want to do in life and reverse engineer that career. There are some careers, if you want to be a doctor, obviously college is the pathway you should take.
So, Mac, you offer courses in a variety of disciplines at both the middle and high school level. Give us some examples of the course areas that students may choose from.
Boy, it's funny. I use when I go around talking with parents and all, I tell everybody jokingly we can do everything from doing your nails to get you out of jail. Because, you know,
say that one more time.
We do everything preparing students from doing your nails to get you out of jail.
Oh, man.
Because if there's a career pathway out there, C.T.E is the opportunity for you to get a jump start in that career pathway.
I'll be darned.
From our business programs, you know, if you're interested in computer science, programming, web design, you name it, we cover that in the business world, the marketing world. We have in our health and medical, we have everything from vet science to sports medicine to your traditional nursing program, pharmacy programs. We have all your trades programs. We have your traditional technology education programs, which is your intro to, you know, woodworking, metalworking, welding. You know, how do you design things? It's more of a way. What we're trying to do is teach how to problem solve using the skill sets with those early grades. And the buzzword in today's education is STEM education.
STEM, right?
CTE is STEM education.
Right.
It is all about how they fit together. And that's it's kind of rewarding to see, all these buzzwords out there, people trying to move towards what we've been doing for years.
Right. So do they take these C.T.E. courses as part of their overall high school curriculum, or are these classes in addition to their high school curriculum?
They start out as electives,
Okay.
and most of them actually fit in as electives. You have to have so many credits in order to earn your diploma, and then you have so many spaces in your schedule for electives. So, starting at the middle school level, these are electives that students choose to take. And part of anyone in education struggle is, how do you get students to see the benefits of taking these classes, getting them to think about, this is a great option, and I really want to learn about something. Because when I was coming along, if something broke, you had to learn how to fix it because you couldn't really afford to buy something else. In today's world, nowadays, if disposable technology, if something breaks, you just throw it away, go buy another one.
Yeah.
I don't understand the big deal. When I went to school, we had all of those things. Maybe not as many as are offered now, but we had all those things. I just don't understand what the big deal is. I think the powers in California especially decided that there was not enough money for the shops, and all the schools closed down the shops, and all the administrators got raises.
Mac, is it just a California issue?
No, and part of that, I think, it once again goes back to the perception of what these everybody felt like. I've been in this for a long time. Back to the basics, the reading, writing, and arithmetic. But the thing of it is, what people fail to realize is that if you don't know why you're learning something, you're not going to retain it. And I think we just get so focused on measuring the outcomes, we forget the why of learning, the relevance of what we're learning. And when you start taking away the electives, which a lot of schools, when budgets got tight, the electives were the first things that started getting cut.
Right.
We often see high schools in the news when they have student athletes signing letters of intent with a particular college. But I understand that C.T.E. has a letter of intent signing day ceremony as well. What's that all about?
Well, we started that. This is the first year we've actually done this because it's about an image. We wanted to help change the image of young people. Everybody celebrates the students going to college, and our schools will have days where, they put the banners up on the wall and the students are wearing their jerseys that they're walking down the hall. So everybody knows these kids are going to college and they've made their decision. And then for military, we've been doing a coining ceremony for the students who are making that decision to go into the military, which is a great option. But what was happening, those students in the middle, they were just kind of sitting there, okay, well, I'm just going to work. And it's not, I'm going to work. It was that and it just started driving me crazy that we weren't celebrating these students, because when they're coming out of our programs, most of these students have industry-based certifications, and they're not starting at ground zero. They're already starting, 2 or 3 steps ahead of most people entering the workforce. And, we needed to celebrate this and use this as an opportunity to make those students feel really great about the decision they made. And very selfishly, I wanted to help the parents to realize you can quantify value of C.T.E. education. When these students graduate from high school, they're signing a letter of intent for a company saying, I'm going to pay you $43,000 a year. I'm going to pay for all of your training. I'm going to give you full medical coverage, dental coverage, life insurance, retirement. When you start putting that package together over a 4-year span, those students are now, $300,000-$400,000 to the good compared to that same student that said, well, I'm going to go to college, and 4 years later it comes out, and then they're right back at that starting point.
Yeah, my brother
have no idea what they're going to do.
My brother was involved with a local program in our community, very much like your C.T.E., called Open Opportunities, and many of the young men and women had positions. They were pleased to report on positions. I can recall a couple in particular that had jobs lined up with Tesla Corporation.
and solar panel
and solar
companies and welding shops and the steel mill. And what happened, my problem now that in retrospect, is that I look at the shops that were removed from our schools in California, and I recall that none of us in any of the shop classes, and I took every shop class.
Mm-hmm.
I took every shop class, and I'm proud of it, but the school didn't take the extra step that you guys seem to have taken, which is to take the people who are doing these quote-unquote electives, okay, and
connecting them with employment.
and then connecting them with employers who are in need of qualified help. And it seems to me that, at least in my state of California, that we've got a bunch of dip-dums operating the educational system because they've given up on the students who can't afford to go to college.
Well, and that's one thing.
And who don't want to go to college.
And would probably flunk out 6 months into it because they didn't want to be there to start with.
That's right.
Hey, listen, Mac, in Henrico County, Virginia, your public schools aim for each student to graduate with what I understand is a triple E. What in heaven's name does that mean?
Well, a lot of people, it's actually a play off the double E's, electrical engineering, but you hear triple E's, you think that sounds really wide. But it's really about what is that student's pathway. Most school divisions, they'll tout every one of our students graduate college and career ready. And we did that for years as well. And realistically, if a student graduates from high school, they are ready to go to work or to college. But if they have no skill training, what kind of job are they going to get? Is it going to be Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, or something like that?
That's right. That's it. That's what it's limited to. That's what a high school student who's just graduated has to look to, a minimum wage job, because he or she's not qualified to do anything except reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Exactly.
Sucks.
So we wanted to take that one step further. We wanted to say, okay, we want our students to graduate from high school enrolled, enlisted, and or employed. And I stress that and or. But what that really means is we want to take the time to invest in each one of the students that we graduate and say, what is it you want to do with your life? Because ultimately, every parent out there wants their child to be a productive citizen, make a good income, and be able to take care of themselves and hopefully move out, start their own world and life. So if you reverse engineer that career, and I want to be an auto mechanic, or a 4-year college would be not the next logical step for me. And if I love working on cars and that I know that's what I want to do, we need to do a better job early on, middle school and high school, preparing that student for that career pathway. So when our students walk across the stage at graduation, we want to be able to say, Mac Beaton, he is working with Rolls-Royce designing, aerospace technology because of, the training that he received in high school. Or, Johnny Jones is going to go to a 4-year college because he wants to be a surgeon. So there's a rhyme or reason beyond it just saying they're ready for that next step. We want to know what that next step is.
I think it's important that trades be taught in schools, but I think it's also important that students who are working in the trades realize that command of the English language and math, which is used in just about every profession and every trade, is important. So I guess the question is, with the, this continual pressure on education to show academic results, how do you see C.T.E. fitting into that model?
Well, it's kind of interesting, and I use this example a lot when I'm talking to parents. And I'll start with the Pythagorean theorem. Everybody learns that in school. And if you asked anybody about the Pythagorean theorem, they'll say, well, that's A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
Right.
Then if you really get into it, say, okay, what does that really mean? And 50% of the people will just stand there and look, I don't know, I just had to learn it. But ask the carpenter, what does the Pythagorean theorem mean? They'll sit there and say, well, that's how you get the rise and run of a stairs. That's the pitch of a roof. That's how square a building. So it's the understanding the relevance of what you're learning. in Virginia, we have, it's called Standards of